Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. You must be that guy who was wondering about universal basic income, right? Yeah, why don't you take a seat for a little? Let's talk about a couple things. Now, if you're not that guy and you have no idea what I'm talking about, let me educate you. Universal basic income is a socio-political financial transfer policy proposal in which all citizens of a given population regularly receive a legally stipulated and equally set financial grant paid by the government without a means test. Or, in layman's terms, everybody gets paid a set amount in a set amount of period by the government. And while this may seem like an outlandish idea to some of you, it has been implemented in a fair amount of countries, including, but not limited to, Canada, where in 2017 the government implemented a UBI project in Ontario. Finland, where also in 2017 the government implemented a countrywide UBI initiative. And Kenya. This is the biggest and longest standing UBI project in the world. Okay, now you may be saying, all right, cool story, bro, but what does this have to do with anything? This has to do with solving poverty in America. Now, no, hear me out. This guy, Scott Santens, from this place, the Economic Security Projects, says that UBI set at 1,000 per month could possibly end US poverty, making everyone happy. All right, solving American poverty sounds great in theory, but how do we do this? It's $1,000 per month to every adult citizen in America. How could we possibly pay for such a groundbreaking government led initiative? My proposed method for paying for such an initiative would be a 10% VAT tax. Now, I by no means am taking credit for coming up with this idea on my own. I've come to this result of a 10% VAT tax being the most effective way to pay for UBI based on my extensive research into the field. But first, what is a VAT tax or value added tax? It is a consumption based tax assessed on the value added in each production stage of a good or service. This is usually administered when crossing into countries. Many European countries have this already, so it wouldn't be a foreign concept. But an American VAT tax in specific should mirror those of the most effective existing VATs around the world. It should be built on a broad consumption base. It should adjust taxes at the border so it applies only to goods and services purchased in the US no matter where they are produced. Small businesses should be exempt, but they should be able to choose to join the VAT system. This VAT plan would raise a significant net revenue and be as conducive to economic growth as any other new tax. This VAT tax that we talk about would complement, not replace, any new direct taxes on affluent households, such as a wealth tax or capital gains reforms. But here's the best part. This 10% VAT tax that we've been talking about would raise about 2.9 trillion over 10 years, or 1.1% of GDP, even after covering the cost of UBI. Now, you may be saying, if a VAT-backed UBI initiative is so great, why doesn't it exist yet? Treasury Secretary Larry Summers once said that a VAT tax has little political support because liberals think it's regressive and conservatives think it's a money machine. This is wrong on both accounts now. This is wrong because VAT is regressive, but once we couple it with UBI, which is very progressive, the VAT tax infused with the UBI protocol would therefore become progressive. That would garner Democratic support. And conservatives thinking that a VAT tax would be a government money machine, this isn't true because in actuality, that theory is misproven as there's little evidence that a VAT tax is linked to more government spending. And actually, we're starting to see a value added tax being proposed from both sides of the aisle. On the conservative end, we have senators such as Ted Cruz of Texas and Rand Paul of Kentucky. And on the liberal end, we have a former presidential candidate, Andrew Yang, who not only advocated for a 10% value added tax, but advocated for that very same tax to fund our potential UBI initiative. So to sum up what's been said over the course of this video, we've established what UBI is, what its potential benefits are, how we would pay for that, and where it is right now in American politics. Is it very feasible? To answer that last point about feasibility, yes, it's 100% possible. In recent years, we've had a presidential candidate go very far just based on that VAT UBI initiative. We have the means to create this UBI. We have this 10% value added tax that has support on both ends of the aisle that could make $2.9 trillion in 10 years and 1.1% of GDP even after that money's being spent on UBI. And we know that it'll work. We have numerous studies, numerous reports saying that a $1,000 per month universal basic income in America could potentially end poverty as we know it. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Universal basic income, the solution for American poverty.